The Works of Mercy. The works of mercy are a set of charitable actions and attitudes by which we come to the aid of our neighbor in his spiritual and bodily necessities. Christ was merciful, and he expects his disciples to be merciful as well. Works of mercy are in obedience to the command of love thy neighbor, and are intended to guide individuals in showing compassion and providing assistance to those in need. Traditionally, there are 7 corporal works of mercy and 7 spiritual works of mercy. Corporal works of mercy: feeding the hungry, giving drink to the thirsty, clothing the naked, sheltering the homeless, visiting the sick, visiting the imprisoned, burying the dead. Spiritual works of mercy: instructing the ignorant, counseling the doubtful, admonishing sinners, bearing wrongs patiently, forgiving offenses willingly, comforting the sorrowful, praying for the living and the dead. The corporal works of mercy: feeding the hungry, giving drink to the thirsty, clothing the naked, sheltering the homeless, visiting the sick, visiting the imprisoned, burying the dead. The spiritual works of mercy: instructing the ignorant, counseling the doubtful, admonishing sinners, bearing wrongs patiently, forgiving offenses willingly, comforting the sorrowful, praying for the living and the dead. Corporal work of mercy: feeding the hungry, providing food for those who are hungry or in need of nourishment. Corporal work of mercy: giving drink to the thirsty, providing water or other beverages to those who are thirsty or lack access to clean drinking water. Corporal work of mercy: clothing the naked, supplying clothing and basic necessities to those who are without proper attire. Corporal work of mercy: sheltering the homeless, offering shelter and housing to those who are homeless or in need of a safe place to stay. Corporal work of mercy: visiting the sick, visiting and caring for those who are ill, whether in hospitals, nursing homes, or at home. Corporal work of mercy: visiting the imprisoned, providing support, comfort, and companionship to those who are incarcerated or in prison. Corporal work of mercy: burying the dead, assisting with funeral arrangements and providing a dignified burial for the deceased, especially for those who may not have the means to do so themselves. Spiritual work of mercy. Admonish the sinner. This involves gently correcting and advising those who have gone astray or committed sinful acts, with the intention of helping them to recognize their faults and return to a righteous path. Spiritual work of mercy. Instruct the ignorant. This work of mercy calls for sharing knowledge and wisdom with those who lack understanding, particularly in matters of faith and spirituality. It aims to help individuals grow in their understanding of God and their faith. Spiritual work of mercy. Counsel the doubtful. This involves offering guidance and support to individuals who may be struggling with doubts or uncertainties in their faith or life in general. It aims to provide reassurance and clarity. Spiritual work of mercy. Comfort the sorrowful. Showing compassion and empathy to those who are grieving, going through difficult times, or experiencing emotional pain is an act of mercy. Comforting the sorrowful can be a source of solace and healing. Spiritual work of mercy. Bear wrongs patiently. This work of mercy encourages individuals to endure personal suffering or injustice with patience and forgiveness, following the example of Christ's own patience and willingness to forgive. Spiritual work of mercy. Forgive offenses willingly. Forgiving those who have wronged us, even when it is difficult, is seen as a way to emulate God's forgiveness. It is an act of mercy that promotes reconciliation and healing. Spiritual work of mercy. Pray for the living and the dead. This involves offering prayers for the spiritual well-being of both the living and the deceased. It's an act of intercession on behalf of others, asking for God's grace, mercy, and guidance in their lives. We have reached the conclusion of the Works of Mercy. If you wish, complete the following homework by answering the question, what do each of the following Bible verses have to say about specific works of mercy? In the Corporal Works of Mercy, investigate Matthew chapter 25, verse 35, Proverbs chapter 25, verse 21, the Gospel of Luke chapter 3, verse 11, Isaiah chapter 58, verse 7, Matthew chapter 25, verse 39, Hebrews chapter 13, verse 3, and Tobit chapter 1, verse 18. For the spiritual works of mercy, investigate 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 15, 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 11, Galatians chapter 6 verse 1, 2 Corinthians chapter 1 verse 3, Matthew chapter 6 verse 14, 1 Corinthians chapter 13 verse 4, 1 Timothy chapter 2 verse 1. And we hope you enjoyed this lesson on the works of mercy.